Hello. In this video, we will actually look into three things. What is a competency? How to write a competency? And lastly, what are the content of competency writing? Now, we start with the first one. What is a competency? Now, by definition, a competency is the capability to apply or use set of related knowledge, skill, and abilities required to perform successfully a critical work function or task in a defined work setting. Now, competencies often serve as the basis for skills standard that specify the level of knowledge, skills, and abilities required for the success at workplace, as well as the potential measurement criterion for assessing a competency attainment. Now, how do we write the competencies? Now, when we write competencies, we always begin with a present tense action verb. For example, convert PDF files to PowerPoint and words. So always begin with a present tense action verb. Now, second, each action verb requires an object. Identify, for example, identify mistake in a report. This is verb followed by an object. Now, third, each competency is measurable and observable. Now, example, we can actually write, describe general method of child education by describing procedures as case study and conduct improvement study. So it must be something that is measurable, then something that is observable. You can see that is being done. Number four, each competency must be based on performance. For example, evaluate customer service from a various perspective by comparing and contrasting the service work in 1990s. So it must be related to performance. Now, number five, do not use evaluative or relative adjective. We don't use words like good, effective, appropriate. Number six, do not use evaluative. Number six, do not use qualifying phrases. We do not use qualifying phrases like write with greater confidence, for instance. So we have six what we call general rules in writing a competency. Now, let me actually go with you again. Begin with a present tense. Make sure it's an action verb. Each competency must be measurable and observable. Each competency is based on performance, right? Do not use evaluative or relative adjective, right? Like good, effective, appropriate. I missed this one just now. Do not use evaluative or relative adverb. Quickly, slowly, immediately. That's not allowed. Number seven, do not use qualifying phrases like write with greater confidence, for instance. And lastly, say only what you mean using only necessary words. Right? That is on actually the what we call the general guide for writing of competencies. Now, what are the content in competencies writing? Now, we like to recommend that you use the what we call the all domain that is appropriate. For example, cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. Now, when we actually write competencies, we must build the level of learning from the lowest level to the highest level in each domain. For example, from knowledge to evaluation in cognitive domain, from knowledge to be able maybe understand to evaluate, from imitation to naturalization in the psychomotor domain, from you actually understanding how to do it to imitate, until to the extent that you are actually natural in terms of doing it, and from receiving to characterizing in the effective domain, means to say understand and being able to categorize the what we call it, the knowledge or skill that you have acquired. Now, next one is we need to organize competencies, similar knowledge, yeah, skill and abilities together in one competency. This is where we group them together. Yeah, developing a smaller number of competencies rather than extensive number of knowledge, skill, and abilities outcomes. So we normally group competency in smaller groups, smaller related group. Yeah, and then number 4, introduce the knowledge, skill, and abilities required for transfer, yeah, to upper division program or performance in career. I mean to say, you must be able to move the competency from maybe entrance level to what we call expert level. Yeah. Lastly, you must be able to relate competencies to prerequisite and general organization requirement. Mean to say, it must be related to the mission and objective of the organization.